Hello, friends. So today we are going to be looking at custom styles in GIS. So we're going to be looking at some ways that you can make things look nice and pretty in GIS without always having to pull everything over into Illustrator. So GIS has a lot of different options for custom styles, and once you get good at them, you can start making some pretty beautiful maps in GIS all by itself. In a previous tutorial, we were looking at the distances to bus stops in Charlottesville. So we were looking at access to public transportation, which is the map we have here, where the red is indicating the distance from the bus stops, and then these markers are the bus stops. So this is nice, but this is not necessarily the most beautiful map in the world. I don't know necessarily that we're going to end up with a beautiful map today, but I'll at least show you the techniques that you could play with in order to get a beautiful map. The first thing I'm going to show you guys with custom styles is how to make your own color ramps, such as this. So if we go to Customize, and then we go to Style Manager, so we can see we have two folders here. First we have this Esri style. So these are all the different styles that are preloaded into GIS. And you can see the different types of styles. We have color ramps, we have the scale bars, we have the north arrows. And if we click on this, we'll be able to see all the different scale bars that are already loaded into GIS. And then if we go to this other one, this other folder, this is your local folder, so these are your own personal custom styles that you're going to make or that you have made. So if I go to color ramps here, for instance, there's some color ramps that I've made in the past. I call them things like blue rust and tropical dust. But anyway, so I've made some custom color ramps and some custom markers for myself in the past. I'll show you guys how to do that. So if you go here and you just right-click on some of the white space, we'll go to New, and we'll select a new color ramp. Typically I go with Algorithmic, because it gives us a nice, clean gradient. So in here, there's a couple different algorithms that you can choose to calculate the gradient transition, and they'll probably look pretty close to the same, but they'll have minor differences depending on the colors that you're using. So here you can just choose the two different colors that you want. So let's say for color 1, we want to do, let's say we have a specific color in mind. We could go to More Colors, and then you can go over here and select the blending option, CMYK, HSV, RGB, and then you can use these sliders to pick a color that you're interested in. So let's say I'm interested in kind of like a really light blue, let's say. So that'll be that, and then we can choose color 2, and for this one I'll choose just like a dark blue, like this or something. Okay, and then you can play around with the tints and the shades here by increasing or decreasing the black values and the white values here. So you can play with those to just customize the gradient a little bit more, but I like this guy, so I'll hit OK here. And let's see, what do we want to call this? We'll call it Sea Breeze. How about that? Yeah, I like that. Okay. Great, so now we have this new color ramp, so we can close out here. And then if we go back to our distance data and the properties, which is symbology, we can then look for this new color ramp that we just generated. Looks like this guy right here. Great. So we'll just hit OK. Nice. So now we have this sort of blue, where the light blue is representing pretty easy access to public transit, and then the dark blue is representing a little bit farther away. So that's custom color ramps. But there's a number of other things that we can customize. If we go back up to customize here into the style manager. Oh, what just happened? Sorry. Okay. Anyway, we go up to customize and we go to style manager. And we'll do how about a custom marker? So let's go into our markers. Here's a couple past ones that I've made in the past, but we'll just right-click on here and we'll go for a new marker symbol. So we have a number of options here. The first thing you can do is just like a very simple marker. So you can come down here and we could do a circle, we could do a square, do a diamond, something like that. You can also add layers here. So let's say we have a diamond, but then we want to add a circle. We'll actually use these arrows, and we'll drop this down underneath it, and we'll have a little pink circle to go behind our diamond. We'll use the size feature and make this a little bit bigger. So that could be a new symbol for you if you wanted. So you can play around with that and play around with layers and just basic shapes. You can also choose a picture marker, and it'll prompt you to choose a picture. So I actually have a little bus symbol that I've downloaded from a place called the Noun Project, which will open this up real quick. So I'm going to get rid of this layer actually, that way we can see it. Okay, great. So actually I'll show you guys. So this is the Noun Project, and it's basically a collection of contributors, and they just have tons and tons of symbols for really just anything. So you can just type in. We'll just type in bus or something like that. And you have all these different buses, and once you have once you're a member, then you can log in and you can download any of these in vector or in raster format. So I'll put a link to the Noun Project in the description for this video, but it's a great resource. So we'll go back over here, and I'm just going to increase this real quickly so you can actually see what's going on here. So we have a little bus here, and 16 is probably a little bit big for this map, so I'm actually going to drop that back down again to what it was. But now we actually have a bus symbol rather than just a circle for our symbol. And another thing you can do, if you don't have a picture, is you can actually choose a character. So what character does is it chooses characters from a specific font. So Esri, which is the people that make GIS, they have their own font, which is what's displayed right here, and there's all these different symbols that they have in their font. But you could go to any font that you have housed on your computer. One great one actually is called Font Awesome, which I'll also put a link where you can download this font in the video description. But it's a font that is entirely symbols, so it's just symbols upon symbols upon symbols of anything you can think of. And so you can just go through here and you can choose one of these. What if maybe we want to choose the Facebook like button as our bus symbol, because we're like really all about public transit, which we should be. So we could choose that. That's kind of funny actually. I'm going to choose that. Okay, so and we could play around with color and size and angle, so you can rotate this and that kind of thing. But we'll go ahead with this now. We'll just call this the like button. So we can close out of this. We can go back to our symbology here and to properties. So here we have some of the custom symbols that we've made in the past. So we're going to choose the one we just made, our little like button. And we'll just hit OK. OK. Great. So now instead of circles, we have little like buttons all over where the bus stops are. So, I mean, if you were actually mapping social media, so there are ways that you can map Twitter feeds and things like this. This could actually be really good. So let's actually switch gears and let's pretend that we're doing that. So instead of showing bus stops, let's say we're showing the density of likes about a certain post for an elected official or something in Charlottesville, and who's liking that post. So we can kind of see that here. So another thing you can do is that you can actually do a custom style for the fill of a shape. So I'm going to turn this off real quick just to show you guys this. And we're just going to look at the municipal boundary for Charlottesville itself. So this is just one nice big poly shape. So you can go into the symbology here, and you can click on here, and you can change this from just a regular old fill. You can also, we can also change the stroke width and the stroke color here. But we can click on Edit Symbol, and we can do a number of other things with this polygon. So we can do a gradient fill, where we can choose a particular color ramp that we like. Let's choose like this nice green, I guess. It gives us a few different intervals. It gives us 5, and then a percentage of the space that it's filling, but we do want it to fill 100%. So you can see how going from 75 to 100 makes it fill this entire space. But with just 5 intervals, this is not a very smooth gradient, right? So let's up this to like 200. So now we have a very, very smooth gradient. So that's one thing you could do. But you can also do a picture fill, and it'll prompt you for a picture. And when you're doing a picture fill, a lot of times it's going to tile the picture in the space. So if you want to do this, I would recommend looking for seamless textures, which are textures that are prepared so that when they tile, it looks, you don't see a seam. It looks like it's all just one big thing. So I have one here that's pretty good. So I'm just going to open it up. It's like a nice kind of watercolor. And we can change the angle, so I could rotate this if I wanted, and I could make it bigger or smaller. You can do that over here too. But we'll just hit OK, and I'll just show you kind of how this looks. It might take a second. Sometimes these picture fills take a minute. So if it's something you're interested in doing, it might be something you want to do towards the end when you already have all your data kind of complete, because otherwise it might just make your map act a little slow, as it's doing now. So we'll just wait a quick second for this to fill in so we can show you guys. But I would just recommend playing around with the different custom styles. There's so many things that you can do if you want to spend the time to create your own custom styles here. So yeah, you can see this is taking a minute to actually load that picture, and it might be because the picture's pretty large, but yeah, so that's another thing you might want to do is actually choose a photo that's not quite so big. Maybe that didn't save. Sorry, let me just try this one more time. Okay, let's apply this and see if we find it. Looks like that went this time. You can see it changed over here at least. Okay, so now it'll hopefully load for us. Here we go. Okay, sorry about that. So anyway, so yeah, so now you can see this texture has filled in this area. There's a little bit of seam here, you can kind of see it, but the seamless textures are a good way to go for that. So so yeah, that's another sort of custom fill that you can do. And then the next thing I'm going to show you is actually how to format a map once you're ready to go, so that you can just print like to a PDF right from GIS, and you don't have to go into Illustrator at all. So we're going to turn this back off because we really just want the sort of fake social media data that we've generated. So this is what we've got. So if we wanted to put this on a page to print it out, the first thing we can do is move from our data view, which is what we're in now, to our layout view. So you can go to View, and we can go to Layout View. And so this brings up an actual page here with what is essentially a viewport. It works in very much the same way that a viewport does in Rhino or something like this. So we can click on this, and we can stretch this out. So I'm going to stretch this kind of to the margins here. We can move it around as well. Okay, great. And we can go up to this pan, and we can just kind of center this for ourselves. We can choose the scale at which our map is. So this is a little small. I kind of want to make it a little bit bigger. So maybe we can type in something more like 1 to 50,000. Okay, great. So that's pretty good. Another thing we can do here is to actually edit the border and the fill of our pages here. So if we go back to this data frame, or excuse me, the layout frame, we can right-click on it and go to Properties, and then the Frame tab. We can change our border, so we can pick the type of border that we want. Let's do this kind of double graded border. That might look sort of nice. We can choose the color, so maybe I'm going to choose like a really dark blue. And then we can choose the background. And let's see. Yeah, maybe we want to change this also to a dark blue. Maybe we'll change this to a little bit lighter blue. Maybe I actually really like blue. Okay, something like this. You could also add a drop shadow to the data or the layout frame if you wanted to do that as well. So anyway, so we'll go ahead and click on this, and we'll see what that looks like for us. Okay, so now we have all of these likes, and we have them kind of floating in this blue, very Facebook space. So it's sort of Facebook themed in this kind of way. And then we could add a legend, and we could add a title, and all these kinds of things to this. So to do that, we can go to Insert. I'll add a title here. The title of the map will just say Facebook likes for cat video, if we're doing that. Okay, so we've got this, and we can go to the properties here, and we can change this. We can change the symbol to choose a font, and to choose a size, to choose a color. I think we want our color to be white. So we'll do that. Hit OK. And maybe we would choose a better font, but this will do for now. And then we can choose a we can choose to insert a legend, and we can choose the legend items that we actually want in here. So I'm actually gonna. So we want the. This is what our data originally was, which was the distances between the bus stops and the parcels. So I'm sort of acting like this is a Facebook thing, but just for the sake of showing you guys this. But so this is the data that we're actually working with. So we can hit next here, and we can create a title for our legend. So we'll just say number of likes, and we can change the color of the font to white, and you could change the font if you wanted. We'll just do next. You can give it a border and a background and drop shadow, all these sorts of things. We'll just say OK here, and great. So now we get this little legend, and it shows the title of our thing, and then it shows the layer that the data is coming from, and then it gives sorry, 1 second, guys. I just have to plug in my computer. Okay. So it shows the title of our legend. It shows the layer in which we're pulling things from, and then it shows the category of data that we're doing, which was distance. We're sort of pretending that it's not, but so we can right-click on this, and we can go to Properties, and we can work with the different properties of the legend. So we can go here, and we can specify once again the different data sets that are included in the legend, the title of the legend. We can go over here. We can actually, I don't know why this is kind of cut off, but this says styles, and we can go here and we can look for a legend style that we like. So we could do, for instance, we could get rid of the layer name of the layer that it's referencing, and we could just do this heading with a label. So we click OK for that. Click OK there, and so now we just have that. So now we have this map, and we can simply just export it. And you can export it as an Illustrator file or a PDF or whatever you want to do. But yeah, that's a way of creating finalized maps in GIS without having to move into another program, or to kind of like do as much as you can in GIS and then put some finishing touches on in a program such as Illustrator or something like that. All right, thanks, and we'll see you next time.